Hello. Are you feeling stressful and feel like you don't have any power in your life? Well, that is what I'm going to talk about today. My name is Camesha Jones Brandon. I am a licensed clinical social worker, recovering workaholic, and burnout overcomer. Moving Beyond Burnout empowers Black women to cultivate self awareness and to create practical pathways to overcome burnout for good. If you are joining me for the first time, please like this video. Please share this video with someone who you know is struggling with stress and burnout. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the Sista Afya channel. And then also subscribe to my newsletter, which is in the description of this video. So I'm not going to be too long today. I've had a long week, you all, and I just want to get on here and keep my commitment to you all to talk about things that are relevant to burnout, stress, and also Black women. So today's topic is how to take your power back in a stressful world. Right now, I think so many people are really stressed out and burnt out, whether it is the financial or economic system, whether it could be things that are going on in our families and our communities, and politics, war. I mean, there are so many things that we can feel stressed about and feel powerless. So today, I just really want to talk about how we can take our power back in a world where there's stress, in the world where there are so many different challenges that can make us feel defeated. So the first thing that I want to touch on to really get in tune with is what's ruling or controlling your stress. I can tell you from personal experience that sometimes I have felt like my life ran me than I ran my life. And there are things that can be really taking up a lot of space and that we can feel powerless and feel stressed about. So just as an example, let's take work as an example. There are different demands that we have, in our workplaces. However, there could be ways that we could approach our work that either helps to reduce stress or to put us in a position of agency versus these things literally just happening to us. So just as an example, say that someone believes that you would be a great leader on a project or on an initiative, and you are excited about the opportunity. You are encouraged that someone sees your potential. But what comes along with maybe that leadership are a lot of different demands that may take a lot out of you. Like, you can do it, but should you do it, is really the question. So you, in a leadership position, you have the power to literally guide what some things look like. And you also have the opportunity to be able to gauge your capacity. So if you are in a leadership position, you have more power to determine the outcome. And then also, if you don't have the capacity to take something on, you also have a choice in that situation. So that is just an example of work can be something that can be a stressor, but the decisions that we make, that we can make, may feel like we don't have the opportunity or the power to do. And I think that this also goes into things with our family, things in our community that can really take up a lot of stress. Also, if we think about the season that we literally are coming out of with the election, or the politics. And I know there are a lot of people, particularly Black women, who feel really, really defeated right now and feel stressed by, all these different, systems, and just what will be, what we have to do moving forward. And that can feel really, really stressful. And you can still take back your power and have control in a situation where things feel very, very overwhelming. So, one of the things that I want to talk about is, how do we actually begin to break free from these stressors? How do we begin to move out of the space of overwhelm, in the space of feeling victim to these things, to be able to break free? And that looks different, honestly, for every person, what it looks like to break free from your stresses. But the first thing is to acknowledge it. This thing is really overwhelming. This thing is really, really stressing me out. First thing is to acknowledge it, and then begin to reduce either involvement, or to acknowledge what your true capacity is. And those are very concrete ways that we can begin to break free from the things that are stressing us out. Back again with this, election that's come up, what I've decided to do to break free from the stress is to be present, to focus on my day to day life, and to not allow all these things that are really, really big to change my hopefulness, to change my mindset. And so that is how I'm breaking free from, the social and political climate that we're in. And our ancestors have done it repeatedly. And that gives me inspiration, and that gives me hope. So that is how I am breaking free from that stressor. Other things, when it comes to work, creating a situation that doesn't, add more stress, but ways to reduce stress, right? Not adding to my plate, but taking away from your plate. Those are ways that you can begin to break free, but it really, really starts with awareness, and honestly acknowledging like your true capacity to engage, and how much involvement you should have in some of these things that are, really, really overwhelming. And then the last thing I'll say is just getting in the driver's seat of your life. Sometimes we can be in a space where we believe and see that all these things are happening to us, and we don't feel like we have the power to shift things. And I personally don't believe that. I think there are so many ways that we can access our power and our agency. And sometimes people can feel really like that's not possible because things are so big. And so being able to break these things down in really small parts, to be present and to choose what you can do, not necessarily looking at what you can't do, but what can I do in these moments where I am consumed with all these different responsibilities? What can I do if someone asks me to do something that I really don't want to do or don't have the capacity to do? What can I do to block out all of the noise that is contributing to why I feel burned out, to why I feel stressed? And the more that we're able to put us in the driver's seat instead of the back seat, that is when you can really be able to shift into well-being, instead of being in a place where you may feel bogged down or feel like having really being able to thrive in life is not a possibility. So that is what I wanted to talk about today in terms of how you can take your power back in a stressful world. It is possible. There are so many women that I'm seeing right now who are taking their power back, who are getting in the driver's seat, who are not going with the motions, who are not accepting the status quo and recognizing their power. And the more that you're able to practice it, the more realistic and sustainable you can see it being in your life. So join me every other Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Time. I'm a little bit earlier today day because I have a conference to attend to get my CEUs to keep my social work license. So that's why I'm not here at my usual time today. But please like this video. Please share this video. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my newsletter. All of that information is in the description. And the next topic will be stress and emotional eating. There are a lot of people who one of the ways to relieve stress is to overeat or to not eat enough. So I want to really talk about that, especially as we're coming up on the holiday season, and to also provide, information about the science behind that and what we can do to really develop healthy habits and to create other coping skills when we do experience burnout, when we do experience stress, instead of always maybe returning to either overeating or restricting our eating. So that will be the next topic. Thank you all for tuning in. This was a quick one today, and I hope that this message really empowers you, especially if you feel like stress is ruling your life and you can be in the driver's seat and control where your life goes next. So take care of all of you and be well.